Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ultimate Comics Podcast. My name is Nabeel Gaber, and I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Josh, the other host.
And this is the podcast where we talk about Ultimate Marvel, an imprint of Marvel Comics that began in the year 2000 that was mainly meant to modernize and reimagine Marvel and its characters for the 21st century and make things a little bit more accessible to new readers. So they started a whole new line of comics as if characters like Spider-Man, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, etc. all started in the early 2000s instead of the 60s like a lot of them did. So each episode we talk about a batch of issues from a different series like Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic Four, yada yada yada. And we just talk about, what we like about the issues, what we might not like so much, what's aged well, what hasn't held up so well, and just the overall impact of these comics on Marvel within the world of comics and other media, including TV, movies, animation. So this episode, we're talking about this two-parter. It's a miniseries, Ultimate X4, number 1 through 2. I guess it's like Ultimate Fantastic Four X-Men number 1, and then Ultimate X-Men Fantastic Four number 1. So it's a little confusing, but basically it's a two-part miniseries, Ultimate X-Men Fantastic Four crossover.
I also believe this came out around the time the movie X3 came out, or X2 and X3. So
That is a little confusing then. Someone will read this comic being like, hey, I thought this was the fourth X-Men. What? This doesn't make sense. Why is Professor X still alive?
I mean, he's still alive in that universe too. So I don't know how,
Right.
but did they ever explain it?
Oh yeah, it's the post-credit scene in X3 where it's revealed he transferred his consciousness into a body without one. I don't know.
I remember it was his brother.
Yeah, his twin brothers. It's stupid and never addressed again.
Yeah.
After that, he just shows up again in the post-credit scene of the Wolverine and then in Days of Future Past, and there's virtually no explanation. Like most things in the X-Men movies that Fox did, there's virtually no explanation for a lot of things. Like, how does Wolverine have the adamantium back on his claws after the Wolverine in Days of Future Past? Nobody knows.
I mean, it's a complicated, messed up universe by now, full of corporate BS, and we found out the director was possibly a kid diddler, so, all things considered.
It's more than possible,
it's definitely?
Bryan Singer was a pedophile.
Oh, I keep wondering what he did, and you tell me a little bit each time, and it just keeps getting worse. You're like, he assaulted a woman. He is a diddler. He's a confirmed diddler. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Yeah. I was gonna say, I guess it was just the trend to just name X-Men things like X1, X2, X3 at the time.
Yeah. No, that does seem pretty trendy of the time. And this makes sense because it's the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, so you just want to mash them together. Just say it's X4, Ultimate X4.
And Fox did consider trying to make a Fantastic Four X-Men crossover movie, so.
Yeah, because they had the rights to both franchises.
Yeah, and they just never did it.
But they were able to do it in the comics many times, this being one of them.
Yeah.
This is a two-part mini by Mike Carey and Pascal Ferry. What do you think of these issues, Josh?
I thought it was okay. I came into these comics a little frustrated because I told you this. If you read this on Marvel Unlimited, they're not grouped together. You have to find each issue separately.
Yeah, just a word to anyone trying to read this on Marvel Unlimited. It's confusing. It literally organizes each issue in a separate series as if it's two different one-shots, when really it's a two-part miniseries.
One is Ultimate Fantastic Four / X-Men, and the other is Ultimate X-Men / The Fantastic.
Yeah, and then you're like, what's the difference? I'm like, well, one comes before the other, I guess. So there we go.
It's kind of like, not that I've ever pirated a TV show or movie, but
of course not.
On a pirating website, sometimes because you're watching it for free, the episodes are out of order, and you need to figure out which episodes you're watching it for.
That's the cost of piracy. If one were ever to pirate anything, which I'm sure you've never done, Josh.
And I'm sure you've never done.
No, me neither. Definitely never.
Because we're good citizens.
That's right. Amen.
We're responsible actors in the media.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I know. We're heroes.
Damn right.
Yeah.
But these issues were pretty fun. It was like a cute, fun little two-parter. I thought it was pretty inconsequential altogether. It definitely feels more like a Fantastic Four story because this is the same creative team, writer Mike Carey and artist Pascal Ferry, that at this point in Ultimate Marvel were working on Ultimate Fantastic Four. And the series also ties up a lot of loose ends from a two-parter that Mike Carey did in like further back in like Ultimate Fantastic Four, like 19 and 20 or something like that. So it was a while ago, and I forgot all about quite a bit of the stuff he set up back then, specifically with the Mad Thinker. Spoilers, I guess. But yeah, it does feel very much like it's meant to tie up loose ends there, and it really is more of like a two-part arc that would fit in Ultimate Fantastic Four more than anything else.
I also kind of forgot who the Mad Thinker was until like midway through the second issue.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, we've seen this person before.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump right into this then, Josh.
Professor X is napping or sleeping, and he gets woken up by a hologram of a mysterious alien projection that's really well-bodied and voluptuous, is the politically correct term of saying it.
Really? And why would you say that, Josh?
Because it's mentioned in the next page.
I mean, I don't know if they say voluptuous in the comic. I don't remember reading that.
I wrote it down. He says there isn't enough room on her uniform for pips, which is code for she has the big kadonkadonks.
I think you're definitely reading into that, you dirty horn dog.
I'm not a horn dog.
You're digging a hole for yourself, buddy.
I woke up today and the New York Times said, in the most ridiculous act of pro-horn dog propaganda, they say the more horn dogginess you do and have, the longer you live, which I'm like, well, that's not good, and I don't think that's true.
But you're taking advantage of it, I can tell.
I'm not taking advantage of it.
You're just whatever helps your cause, isn't it? You're a fair weather friend. One day you're railing against the horn dogs, the next thing you know, the hypocrisy rears its ugly head, and you're calling aliens voluptuous. So you can extend your own lifespan.
I'm not extending my own lifespan, and also I don't mean that. No, because I'm not with anyone, so I'm not horn dogging it up with anyone. And I think the New York Times specifically mentions people who are, physically with people permanently. Well, yeah. So
I'm sure you'll horn dog it up with someone one day.
Sure. I am not a horn dog. This is an anti-horn dog podcast on my end. Just don't read any article I write or any story I write on the internet.
Don't read his AO3 fanfic.
Or the one article of mine that actually got published.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not proud
of it. So many sides. You contain multitudes, Josh.
Uh-huh.
But yes, this alien is like asking for Professor X's help, which, like, for those of you who read the mainline X-Men comics, this is a pretty familiar sight. Lilandra, Shi'ar, anyways.
He hooks up with a lot of aliens.
Mainly Lilandra, but yes.
Yeah, and I'd have a problem with that because he's barely a human, and is introducing these alien genes into our planet, these invasive species.
I know. One of many crimes committed by Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
It's gone intergalactic now.
Though I also will say, his sleeping, and I don't know if the alien knows what sleep is, because it goes oh, is there a message not getting through? And I'm like, it's just sleeping.
Yeah, give him a sec to wake up, all right?
Yeah.
And then what's really fun is that, immediately the X-Men just burst into Xavier's room, ready for action. They're not in pajamas. They're in full uniform. I'm like, man, you trained them well. They were ready within a few seconds, just fully clothed. I'm like, that's crazy.
I love the jokes on made where other than Spider-Man in the MCU, none of these, or even maybe Iron Man, none of these costumes should be easy to get into. They're skin tight. They're leather.
Yeah, black leather, tactical gear, and they just slipped right into it somehow.
Did you know for Olivia Munn's costume as Psylocke, it involved them rubbing her with fruit or butter because she wouldn't fit into it? Yeah.
I heard about this, and the first day on set she was wearing it, the crotch on the suit popped open.
Oh, so you could see everything or no? Or it just ripped or...
Oh, yeah, you want to know the details? Horn dog.
The other one I'm thinking of is the other semi-infamous one, because it got stolen, is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, which induces claustrophobia on the person who wears it until you get super adjusted to it.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah. And it got stolen, so it didn't matter to begin with.
Yeah. But yeah, the alien projecting itself psychically to Professor X and the X-Men is asking for help, saying she's a general, and they're where are the pips on her uniform if she's a general? And Iceman is a horn dog here, and he's oh, there's not enough room on her uniform for pips. And Jean's Bobby, like, turn it down. I can hear all those nasty thoughts you're having right now.
I also love how Kitty is the one that says like, "You can't be a general. You don't have pips." And I'm like, "It's an alien, Kitty. Is that really your first concern?"
Yeah, like, they might not have the same, like, practice with their uniforms that the US military does.
Yeah, I think most militaries now have pips for the uniforms. I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's not an Earth-based, creature,
yeah,
so you can't, like, judge by the same standards.
yeah. And the general explains that, hey, one of our ships full of our mutants coming to Earth, and they're gonna kill everyone. So you guys want to stop it?
Yeah, this just seems like a standard X-Men mission, like, there's a dangerous mutant alien, now it's a mutant problem coming to Earth and cause destruction, and they're like, "Oh, well, we gotta help out." So the signal fades out, but Charles can sense, like, telepathically where she said the alien was gonna be, where these mutants were gonna land, so he's like, "Alright, guys," like, and Cyclops is like, "We really gonna take this seriously? Like, can we really take her at her word?" And Charles is like, "Listen, like, if it's real, we can't, like, take a chance on that." So he's like, "Everybody get in the X-Wing except Iceman and Shadowcat. You two are staying behind." And Iceman is like, "Why can't I go on the mission?" Which is classic Iceman, like, in the main universe and in this. He's
More
always, like,
like
the baby of the team.
Ice Boy.
You keep trying to make the Ice Boy joke a thing.
I did. Oh, I don't remember, but yeah, it's like Tim Boy feat Chalamet. There's something about him I just don't respect.
Well, you can't compare those two. Iceman's way better than Timothy Chalamet.
I mean, Tim Boy feat Chalamet, for all his faults, is a very accomplished actor. Like, I don't like him. He's objectively good at acting. I will say
Yeah,
that.
well, Iceman's an Omega level mutant too. So what
Not in
about
this
that?
comic, because we're gonna see later on he has a weakness, unlike regular Iceman.
Yeah, Ultimate Iceman may not be as powerful, or maybe his potential is still untapped because he's still a teenager.
We could beat him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, we just have to spend like $9.99 on one of those Tesla flamethrowers, and we could kick his ass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Professor X is like, Iceman, Kitty, like, you gotta wait for Wolverine to return and tell him what's going on. Also, like, if anything happens to us, you gotta, like, let humanity know what's going on, so this is important too.
I also think something like this, like, hey, race deadly soldier mutants coming to Earth to kill everyone by accident. You know, that's a job for the Ultimates. They're good at killing stuff and destroying a city or two. That's their job.
But hey, they said the word mutant, so the X-Men automatically have to get involved. This is a mutant affair. Leave the humans out of this.
I really am not happy with this. Because it seems their mutants are just super soldiers. And even this comic addresses it. They're like, hey, if you have an extra finger, if your eyes change color every other hour, does that mean you're a mutant? Because technically you are. You just don't have the X gene.
It's like, hey, there's a guy robbing a bank. His eyes have two different colors. You gotta stop him. It's a mutant issue. Sorry, the Fantastic Four and the Ultimates can't handle this. This is a job for the X-Men.
Hey, this guy, he's writing fraudulent checks because he is both left and right-handed. Is he a mutant?
This guy's jaywalking because he's got 6 fingers. Get him.
It is like I know the point was that, like, at a certain point you go like, it's kind of silly you're persecuting mutants because it's the idea that, like, a lot of people have random mutations. Like, a good chunk of of humans have a extra nipple that is like an actual thing. Is that a mutation? But, like, come on, this has nothing to do with the X gene. Just saying.
Yeah,
Let
this
the
is aliens.
aliens. This is the job for the Ultimates. Have them blow it out the sky with a nuke and have it destroy, like, Tokyo or Denver in the process.
Well, at this point, too, recently, we talked in the last episode about at the end of the Polaris arc, the X-Men and S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of, like, severed their ties, so they're on shaky grounds right now. I'm
Yeah.
sure the X-Men aren't going to call up Nick Fury now. So
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
But I think it's a perfect time to call up Nick Fury. This is the perfect time to make a NISO with him.
Yeah, I think they might be waiting for things to cool off.
Okay.
But yes, when the X-Men leave, then we see someone breaking in to the X-Mansion with an android, and it's the Mad Thinker, who I totally forgot that we saw already in Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Me too. And she's a ninja.
Yes, she's like got the ski mask on and everything too, so she's ready to like burglarize the X-Mansion.
She's even throwing shurikens around.
Yeah. And she's talking in this like stream of consciousness like format where like there's no punctuation or anything, and I found it so disorienting. I was like, "Oh my god." This is so much to take in right now.
So she bumps into Iceman and Kitty, and she goes like, "Are you guys together? Like, my intel says you guys are not, because you guys are bickering like a couple still."
Yeah. Their relationship status is still, it's complicated, apparently.
Remember when that was a Facebook thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I said that about a friend or two of mine in high school.
You're a cruel man, you horn dog.
That was a joke.
You
I would
horn
do it with
dog.
like my male friends.
You horn dog.
Okay, well.
Horn doggy knows no sexuality.
Yeah, I'm sure you would know that.
I don't know what you mean. But she beats Iceman by removing the humidity from the room. So that does nothing to him, which it would not work on regular Iceman, because I believe he would just control he just controls temperature at a certain point, because his Omega level, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But Ultimate Iceman, he's still very young too.
Yeah. But there's no humidity, so he can't do anything icy, so she just blasts him and he's down.
Yeah, with a heat device.
Yeah.
And then Shadowcat arrives, and then she takes her out with like a gas that like neutralizes her even when she's phasing.
She also can't phase as well anymore because her shurikens vibrate or something, and they make her a bit more tangible than normal too.
Yeah, so this Mad Thinker is literally like Batman with prep time, that old joke, where she just is like taking everyone out with all of her like highly prepared like devices that can beat everyone with plot armor.
I love how people are now getting a little tired of the prep time argument.
It's more of a meme at this point than anything else. Like before, people used to take it seriously and be like, "Yeah, he can beat everyone with prep time." Now they're like, "That's actually stupid and hilarious."
I mean, look, he has a satellite. That just makes like you don't need prep time. You could literally just blast them from space with a laser.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Justice League Tomorrowverse movie, the animated one, where one of the supernatural guys plays Batman, he just calls in an airstrike, and I'm like, yeah, you don't even need prep time. Just call in an airstrike.
Call in an airstrike. Get your drones to do the work. Call in the bat drones. Get the bat satellite on. It's gonna shoot a bat laser from space. Send the bat nukes.
Do you think it's like an actual bat satellite, or is it just a Wayne satellite that he just hijacks?
I really want it to be like a bat-shaped satellite. I think that would be so funny.
It would add to the idea that like the U.S. because I know for the animated series, their big thing was like, oh, the U.S. government canonically abandoned Gotham City, and they're like, yeah, we let this rich guy just run the city. It's a shithole. He can have his own bat satellite. We don't care at this point. He makes it better for us.
We don't care at all.
Yeah.
But we get a really cool entrance after Shadowcat and Iceman are knocked out. Wolverine enters, and this panel by Pascal Ferry is stunning. Wolverine like drops down. It's even got like his signature down at the bottom because they know that they're cooking with this one.
Yeah.
And he like has like glowingly yellow eyes. He looks like a demon. So it's really cool. And he just like grabs the Mad Thinker, and she's like, "I'm just a kid." And he's like, "You think that bothers me? Like, you should have done your homework." And I'm like, damn, Ultimate Wolverine is a monster. Holy shit.
He's like, he should definitely go in jail with Diddy and Epstein.
He's like, I'll murder a kid.
I'll eat a kid.
Yeah, I'll do whatever, you know? I'll date a 19-year-old who, like, doesn't really know that I'm here to kill her mentor.
Kind of reminds me of like all those billionaires who are like eating. I'm like, my girlfriend of 18 years old did not even know I was a billionaire. She loves me for who I am.
I'm like, sure, pal.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And look, life would be better if Ultimate Dazzler, Ultimate Professor X, and Ultimate Wolverine were in jail in some kind.
All right, Ultimate Dazzler's like in a coma at this point. Hasn't she been through enough?
Once she wakes up, she needs to go to jail. She's a bad influence. She's full of tattoos and piercings, and she's a horn dog. She goes to jail, and life will be better, along with Professor X and Wolverine.
Go to horny jail.
Yes, but look, like, spoilers ahead, they fight the Fantastic Four later on, and I'm like, okay, the Ultimate X-Men have fought the Avengers, the Fantastic Four. They just kind of get into fights that don't need to happen. They are a threat to humanity. Get rid of them.
Why? Because they're mutants?
A bit, but just because they're kind of careless about damage.
So racist.
Yeah, well, yes. Mutants aren't people, so it's not even racism.
How horrible.
They're not people.
That's speciesist.
Marvel has canonically said they're not human.
That was so that they could, like, that was for legal reasons. Anyways.
It still counts.
But the Mad Thinker ends up still knocking out Wolverine with a virus that she uses on him. It apparently, like, is an accelerated virus that mutates, so it, like, catches up with his healing factor, so it'll, like, keep him sick.
He's been knocked out by the most common of all our foes, the common flu.
Yeah, he's got the flu now. He spends most of the rest of the story just with the flu, and that is very funny.
Look, I am a little pissed that all of us have to deal with the flu except him.
Yeah, I mean, now he knows what it's like to be the rest of us.
Yeah, the rest of us is Festivus.
But after the Mad Thinker and her android take off with what they came for, everyone else, the X-Men wake up and they're investigating Kitty, Iceman, and Wolverine. And it's really cool seeing like Kitty take the lead on this and be like the brains of the operation. She's like on the computers and like looking into like what the Mad Thinker stole and why she was here.
Not that 616 Wolverine is dumb. He is not dumb. He is like very much. He could do detective work. I mean, partially because he's like a big German Shepherd that doesn't wash. But Kitty is very intelligent. And I'm glad they're showing it off because in 616 she does occasionally teach. They mentioned she has like degrees. She can just do the investigative work. So
Yeah, Kitty's also always been good with computers is the thing, even like since back in the 80s.
yeah,
And I think, yeah, like from early on, like when Chris Claremont was writing her, like she was like destined to be like a big leader of the X-Men and to play like a pivotal role
yeah.
on the team.
I also remember that as back in the 80s and 90s when like being good with computers is like a special skill. Now it's like no, that's your base level skill. And honestly,
Yeah.
that's going away too. So
Yeah, but Wolverine being like however old he is, however like 200 years old or so, like yeah, I can understand why he wouldn't be that great with computers.
you gotta punch in the numbers into the machine. And
He'd
Kitty's like,
just get fed up and like stab the keys with his claws.
well, computers were around since the 1800s, technically.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. That's not the same thing.
It's not. I also had no idea how 1800s computers even work. I know they existed. I know who
Yeah.
invented them. I just don't know how they work, and no one has explained it to me properly. And I'm like, hey, so like, how do you code when it's like electronics are just not a thing yet? I just don't. I'm sorry if I sound really dumb right now, and whoever's listening is going like, this guy's dumb. But like, how in the world was coding a thing before electronics? It's my question.
I could not tell you that.
Yeah, I think it's Ada Lovelace, by the way, who invented coding or something. And I'm like, she's the daughter of a famous writer. I'm trying to remember who it is. I'm really
We've
blanking.
lost the plot.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kitty then uses her computers that are from the 21st century to trace the call that the Mad Thinker made in the mansion, and she uses Professor X's shield clearance, or what's left of it, to trace the call, and she traces it to the Baxter building.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, hey, you know, like this is a highly guarded like facility, but at the same time, you know who's in the Baxter building is the Fantastic Four. And she showed fire powers, invisibility, and scientific genius that 3 out of 4 of them have. Like, so this is a classic like mix up, like misunderstanding, like from superhero crossovers where like, oh, it has to be the Fantastic Four then. They're the ones who robbed us.
They also were wondering, like, hey, is it the government? We're not in good terms with the government right now, and this is a government facility full of government researchers and troops. So
Yeah,
maybe.
so it's possible. And meanwhile, the Mad Thinker is in contact with the buyer of what she stole. And she says Caliban. And I was like, Caliban? Like the mutant from mainline X-Men whose powers to track other mutants? Is that who she's talking to?
I love how they're just throwing in small mutant bits here and there. Like that's what I
Yeah.
really like about Ultimate X-Men. Like it doesn't always go that way, but it always hints out that the main X-Men universe is out there, even if they don't
Yeah.
show it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
These little Easter eggs that they give us, these breadcrumbs that they sprinkle for us to follow. But yeah, she's like, no, I had to fight Wolverine. The price just doubled for what I stole.
Because I didn't know I was going to fight Wolverine.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, same. I would at least double the price if I knew Wolverine was now involved. I'd be like, no fucking way, I'm not fighting him again.
And they're like,
triple my pay.
And the other guys are like, well, you got to be careful, Wolverine. He might track you. She goes, oh yeah, he's definitely tracking me.
Yeah, but like, I left a pretty wide trail, so we'll see if he finds me.
I passed so much gas. I rubbed myself on the vases and like furniture.
Yeah.
He's tracking me down.
Yeah, like I licked things. It's I left a pretty big trail.
And the big thing that and also is that she's been stealing parts of Cerebro.
Yeah, she ended up taking some circuit boards that can be used to like create their own Cerebro.
Yeah.
And Logan's like, this is important. We have to like get this back now because they could create their own Cerebro and use it to track mutants down. And they're
Yeah.
like, but the rest of the team's gone and they won't be back for hours. And Logan's like, yeah, we can't wait that long. So
Yeah.
they decide to just go to the Baxter building and break in.
It will be funny if she stole Cerebro parts and it turns out that was just what like Bobby was using to play video games or wink off.
Yeah.
She was like, I found nothing useful here.
It's the most useless information I could have found. We cut to the Baxter building where the Thing and the Human Torch are having one of their classic spats, and apparently Ben smashed Johnny's sound system, which I have to admit, not cool. You can't just smash a guy's sound system. That must have been expensive. That's crazy. Why would the Thing just smash your sound system?
They make good money. You could buy another
Yeah,
one. They're
but I'm like,
celebrities.
Ben, you can't just like smash things whenever you get pissed off. Like you're made of rocks, man. That's dangerous
Well,
and
I would,
expensive.
because Johnny's a dick, and I'm made of rocks, and it keeps making fun of me for that. So, you know, I'm gonna smash a few of his shit.
All Johnny was doing apparently was listening to 50 Cent, which I think is hilarious.
Isn't he still around?
I think so, but it's really funny because Johnny's listening to 50 Cent and Sue comes in and tries to stop them and she's like, "Hey guys, I'm watching the season finale of Lost here." And I was like, "Wow, you're definitely dating yourself with both of those references."
Lost? Have you seen Lost?
I've seen a little bit of it, yeah.
I've heard it's like considered like one of the greatest shows of all time, but it just doesn't lead anywhere because it's just all a dream in the end or something.
Yeah, I heard the last season and especially the series finale were a big disappointment.
Because at least with other shows, if the last season is bad, people are willing to give it certain space or forgive it or say, well, the rest of the show is good. Lost is just where like, no, they gave up. It's a dream.
Yeah, yeah, like that's why I never really committed to it because I'm like, not worth it if the ending sucks.
In sixth or fifth grade, there was a girl in my class. She was really tall. Like she was high school height in elementary. So, and she did a speech. Her Toastmaster speech was on why you should watch Lost. And it was good enough that she went to like state finales with that Toastmaster speech of why you should watch
Damn.
it. Yeah. And
I'd
also,
love to hear that speech.
I don't know if you can find it online, especially because she's a kid. But the weird thing is, because she was so tall and elementary, it looked like she was in high school. Our teacher and her parents and the principal got called into the Sacramento or whatever they did the competition because they refused to believe she was elementary. They thought they were trying to cheat by getting a high schooler to do an
Yeah.
elementary competition, and they all had to go, no, she's 12. She's just really tall.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Going back into the story, then we have Kitty, Wolverine, and Iceman, and Kitty phases everyone into the Baxter building, and Wolverine's like, "This is a stealth mission, guys. Be careful." And as soon as they get in there, they are immediately spotted by Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic himself, which is so funny.
She does warn Bobby that she'll give him cooties. And you know what? Good on you, Kitty, for warning everyone about the cooties.
Bro, she was teasing him.
Cooties is a very serious disease.
You're not serious, are you?
Cooties is what leads to horn dogginess.
This explains so much about you, Josh. Anyways, Wolverine then grabs Reed Richards and starts aggressively interrogating him. And Kitty's like, stop, he clearly doesn't know anything.
And Reed is confused.
Yeah, Reed's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, let go of me, come on. And they're all just arguing with each other while they're grabbing Reed, and he's like, let go, until he finally just unleashes and just like uses his stretching powers to like slam everyone up against the walls. And he runs off, triggers the alarm, which sends a bunch of the soldiers from the Baxter building at them.
He also, one thing I like is Wolverine asks him, like, have you been near Westchester? And he goes, I don't even know what that is. And I'm like, dude, Westchester is like the county touching New York City.
Yeah, like, how do you not know where or what Westchester is? Like, you live
could
in
walk-
New York.
You could walk into Westchester by.
Yeah.
I don't think this is his real weakness in the comics, but in the movie, Iceman should be able to stop him because you could freeze Mr. Fantastic and he doesn't react well to cold in the movie.
That's right. Like when Doctor Doom froze him in the first Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, because I don't think that ever happens in the comics.
Yeah, not that I remember, but maybe.
Yeah, but also like freezing's my weakness too. We all could be frozen. It's not unique to Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. Any one of us could be frozen, and that could be considered a weakness for anyone.
It's like how sharp objects are the weakness, is Wonder Woman's weakness. Everyone thinks it's dumb until I go, but you're also weak to sharp objects. We all are.
Yeah. But we cut to the Mad Thinker, and it's revealed that she was paid by AIM to steal, like, the circuit boards for Cerebro. And then she thinks about, like, what you could do with it and how much you could use it to, like, modify your own consciousness and, like, interface with other human brains. And so then she's just like, nah, I'm gonna take these for myself and keep the money. So she uses her androids to like her android to kill the troops and take the device for herself.
Isn't AIM, weren't they involved with the Ultimate Vision storyline, or?
Yes, yeah, they were. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's when the Vision went up against MODOK and AIM and everyone. Yeah, so
AIM is not doing well. They've just been like trashed a bit, and now they hired this person who just stole the money. That's
yeah, they're getting
fraud.
their asses handed to them.
That's fraud.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But back at the Baxter building, the X-Men are surrounded by soldiers, and then Kitty is like knocked out by the Invisible Woman's force field. And then Wolverine gets approached by the Thing, who then just like punches him across the room.
I'm glad. I think Wolverine needs to be put down a pick or two every once in a while, and you can't beat the Thing.
It's really funny when it happens with the Thing too, because like Wolverine's like this short, like angry little guy, and then every now and then the Thing comes along and just bops him on the head or something, just to kind of humble him a little bit, which is really funny.
Yeah. You know, I have not read the original Wolverine versus Hulk story. Who wins?
Oh, in the end, in like Wolverine's first appearance,
Yeah.
well, obviously the Hulk, because it's a Hulk comic.
Oh, because I'm like, the Thing could fight the Hulk, and you can't beat the Hulk.
Yeah, the Thing goes toe to toe with the Hulk on a regular basis, so of course he can just like knock out Wolverine. Then again, Wolverine does fight the Hulk on a regular basis as well.
The thing with Wolverine is that he'll lose. The Thing will tie, right?
I mean, it depends on who's writing it and what the story is, you know?
I say
Wolverine
that's
can hold his own against the Hulk.
yeah. He'll survive, but you know,
He can dish out very well as much as he can take.
look, a bee could dish out a Hermie. It's not gonna beat me in a fight.
Hey, it's not the size that matters.
I think in this case, the size matters a lot once it's a certain size.
I mean, he's 300 pounds of adamantium. He's indestructible and
Well,
deadly.
Hulk survived the nuke.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, Wolverine might too, for all we know. But
exactly.
actually, should he like? Because what did a nuke reduce you to? Like ash to nothing? How do you come back from that?
I don't know. There's comics where Wolverine regenerates from like his
A puddle.
adamantium skeleton.
I was also gonna say I find it interesting. Sue baits Kitty by tripping her. Kitty goes intangible, and Sue just puts up a force field, and Kitty trips on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how that works.
Well, I guess the shifting thing doesn't only go so far sometimes, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Iceman then puts up a shield to protect them from like the Fantastic Four, gathers together like Wolverine and Kitty, but then the Human Torch starts burning it away with his flame.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile the Mad Thinker cut to her like tripping out as she uses Cerebro and uses the device to locate Reed, and she's like, "Hello, lover boy." And I'm like, ugh.
You know, this is why they wanted. They were thinking for Fan Four's sake, they wanted Eva Green to be Doctor Doom for her to say stuff like that.
Yeah, so that like the homoeroticism behind Doom and Reed could just be like a heterosexual like relationship.
Whoa! Horn dog. There's no homoeroticism between Doctor Doom and Reed. Only one writer has said Doctor Doom masturbates to the idea of Reed.
And who was that?
I forgot, but it's one of the more recent ones.
Oh my gosh. Doctor Doom has definitely pining over Reed.
He is not. He is
He
trying to
hates
prove.
how much he wants to fuck Reed.
He hates the fact that Reed is living the life he wants to live deep down. He wants to be Reed, you know?
Yeah, he wants to be Reed with Reed.
I think you think like Celine Song too much.
I don't know. I just think, there's an obsession there that goes to a level of like, are you in love with this guy?
They're not in love. He's just obsessed with him.
I mean, Reed is not in love with Doom, but I think Doom's got something for Reed. He's got it. He's down bad
He's
for Reed.
jealous. He's jealous. I don't go like, oh man, I'm jealous of this kid, of this other kid. When I was a kid, who has the better version of my toy, I gotta fuck him. That's never gone through my mind. Just saying.
I don't know, man. We'll have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, but you think like Celine Song, the writer, because I don't think she's not written comics, but she wrote Materialist, and she said like, oh yeah, my husband was my rival in school, so
Yeah, enemies to lovers.
yeah, but that's like it's only happened once, and it's just happened to this writer this one time, so you know.
I'm sure it's more than that. But the next issue, the second issue of Ultimate X4, it starts off with this issue has some additional art by Lionel Francis Yu, which is really funny how like he just shows up to do a few pages because like the artwork that he does here is stunning. Like the first page, like the pencils are gorgeous. but
Oh
it's really
yeah.
just the X-Men who have arrived on this island where they said that mutant aliens were going to be. They realize, oh, we've been had. Like, there's
We've been
nothing here.
tricked.
Yeah,
We've been
we've been
tricked.
tricked. And Jean is like, yeah, there's some kind of psychic lockdown going on in New York City, so we better get back there. But they're
Yeah.
like, damn, I guess we gotta fly all the way back now. We were duped.
You know, now that we've mentioned the New York City, Westchester, I'm like, you know how you don't have to take the plane to Westchester. You could just take a train. It's a short trip. You could
That's
walk it. Yeah, they could just Uber.
Uber.
Yeah,
You
Uber.
mean Uber?
I prefer Uber.
Will you be wrong?
Uh huh. But you know, Mad Thinker is just using her powers on Reed. She's kind of ripping through the Baxter building.
Yeah, she's like hacking into all the Baxter Building technology with her new like mental powers. She's like torturing Reed and like freezing his mind. And then she uses her power as well to like shut down one of the troops in the Baxter Building, like shut down his mind and his whole body and like kills this guy. And she's like, stop me before I kill again, Reed. And it really gives off like horror movie, like serial killer vibes. Like, oh my gosh, that's awful. That's
Look, only
terrifying.
2 serial killers have done that, as far as I know. That's Jack the Ripper and the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, she's definitely giving off both of those vibes, but she's got the power of Cerebro on her hands, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
And then Reed is telling everyone, he's like, yeah, we've got to find Rona Burchell, the Mad Thinker. We have to find her. We have to find out what she stole from the X-Men. And let's not pick a fight with the X-Men because they're just here to get what was stolen from them. And as soon as he says, don't pick a fight with them, then Wolverine like bursts through the wall like Jack Nicholson entering in The Shining, going, here's Johnny.
He runs towards the thing, goes, I'm ready for round 2, knocks him down, puts his hands on the thing's neck. Not that I don't think it'll do anything. And then he just passes out from the flu.
Yeah. And then they're like, what hit him? It's like, he's sick. He's just sick. And the thing's like, yeah, he is. Like, this guy's fucked up. But I think it's so funny how so much of this story, Wolverine is just incapacitated because he just got a bad flu. I'm like, how do we get like our heaviest hitter on the sidelines? Let's just make him sick.
I think in the last issue, he actually briefly mentions, yeah, I'm running like a really hot fever. I'm like, good, you deserve to get sick every once in a while, like the rest of us.
Yeah, let's see what it's like on the other side.
Also, if you get a virus that mutates faster than your body could counteract it, I think that will just kill you at one point, eventually.
Yeah, I think
That's
it
called
would
cancer.
eventually. Yeah.
I know cancer is from like your own cells messing up and over replicating, but it's close enough.
Pretty close, yeah. But Reed then stretches over to Bobby and Kitty behind the ice shield. He's like, how about a truce? Which they are amenable to because they're like, yeah, let's just talk. And Rona, the Mad Thinker, she's like overwhelmed by all this new power she has. She can like sense the whole world. Like she's basically omnipotent with like all this power of Cerebro combined with her own like powers of her own like enhanced brain. And she's saying stuff like, people are just machines. I always knew that they were. And we cut to Reed modifying the X-Men's uniforms, specifically on like the tech that makes them like invisible to Sentinels. He's trying to use that to make them all like invisible to the Mad Thinker's powers and like her own like Cerebro technology.
Kitty goes over and goes like, hey, do you have a girlfriend? And you're wondering if she's insulting or flirting with him.
Because he's talking about making all these modifications, and she's like, Reed, have you ever had a girlfriend? Or do you have a girlfriend? And he's like, what? And she's like, never mind. And I'm like, I don't know if this is her like insulting him because she's like, he's going on about all this nerdy techno babble. And she's like, hey, have you ever gone outside? Have you had a girlfriend? Or if she's like into this because she's like a nerd and into like the tech stuff and being like, hey, do you have a girlfriend?
I think she's flirting because, like you said, she's also into the tech stuff, but also her other crush is Spider-Man, who's also a big nerd.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks
there's a trend there.
Yeah, I don't think they look identical, even their art, but like there's similarities. They're like skinny white boys with thick glasses, you know?
Yeah, they are pretty similar. And I guess, and it makes sense because Reed is like pretty young in this version. Like he's
still an adult.
Oh, he's like, yeah, I forgot. He's like a young adult, I guess.
Yeah. He is like 21, 19th or 21-ish, I think.
Yeah. So she's just like into this older guy who works at the Baxter building.
Look, Kitty, just wait like 5 years. Sue's gonna be out of the picture soon anyways. But also, like, I feel Kitty's weird. Like, her two types are people like Reed and Peter Parker, and then just the opposite, that's Bobby.
Yeah. Bobby, who is like not at all like either of those guys. I mean, he's like a little goofy like Peter, but like other than that, like not nerdy and geeky
Intelligent.
like them.
He's not a bad dude, but he's not a great guy either at this point.
Yeah,
He
not
has
in
a
this version.
deep down, he's more good than bad, but there's not a
Yeah,
lot of good in him yet.
yeah, he is kind of a fuckboy.
He's a horn dog,
Yes.
and she's a horn cat.
So I guess it makes sense then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reed's like, oh yeah, I injected Wolverine with like this antibody, so he'll be fine, but he's gonna be like out for a week. I'm like, geez, okay, Wolverine's now officially on the sidelines. He'll be unconscious for the rest of this then. And then Johnny's also talking to Sue. And he's like, why is Kitty talking to Reed when I'm right here? He's like, I have no idea why she'd be talking to that nerd instead of me, the stud.
Because I'll say Johnny's also a fuckboy like Bobby, but
Yeah,
Johnny is also her age, so it's actually a little better.
yeah. But Johnny's probably even worse than Bobby. Like, he's an even bigger fuckboy. Yeah. And Sue is nasty towards Kitty, too.
I thought she said that too. She was talking about Matt Thinker when she said that.
Well, she's like saying that, like, Kitty's basically a terrorist and
And
she's
cheap.
cheap. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Sue, that's awful. You can't, like, you can't be
She is
talking about someone
technically a
else like that.
terrorist, or she's been a terrorist at
All
one
right, well,
point.
first of all, racism here.
Uh-huh.
Kitty has not been a terrorist.
The X-Men were terrorists, like in a few comics. They literally
They
were like
called
declared terrorists.
terrorists when they were superheroes, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Also, you said she's jealous. Maybe Shrekking isn't working.
Yeah, she was like, I'm dating this nerd who's this ugly nerd, which she calls him at one point. Because she was like, the idea is if you date someone below your level, you have more power with them and you have less competition. And he's getting competition. Or she
Yeah.
thinks she's getting competition.
She's like, damn it, my Shrek is turning into human Shrek now. He's handsome. Someone else is seeing his beauty, and now I'm in danger of losing my guy.
But I actually did not think she was talking about Kitty. I, for some reason, thought she was talking about Matt Thinker.
No, like, she's kind of a bitch to Kitty. Like, she's
Well, maybe
nasty
Kitty should not be a horn dog or a horn cat and stay away from other people's men.
Well, like, I don't know. It's one thing to, like, mate guard. It's another thing to, like, totally try and tear down another woman. Come on. It's not very feminist of you.
I mean, look, don't you have the right to tear down someone who goes after your stuff?
Just be like, hey, back off. Don't be like, she's a terrorist and she looks cheap. Like, damn.
First of all, she is a terrorist, and I guess Sue's being a little classist or anti-Semitic, because that's a comment.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah, but Kitty should back off.
I was like, oh, okay, anti-Semitism and classism is okay then, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she's upset, and, Also, I don't know.
There's better ways to deal with that.
I don't know what this trend is among some people saying, like, I'm a Lamborghini and you're just a beater. I'm expensive, you're cheap. I'm like, have you considered cheap's better? It's cheaper.
Sometimes it's not. It depends on how much use and value you get out of it.
Look, do you want a $200 cup of coffee or an $8 cup of coffee?
Yeah, I'm like, given that it is just coffee, I'd probably prefer like the $8 one. But there are some things where like it makes sense for them to be more expensive. Like
what?
I don't want an $8 television. A $200 television makes more sense.
I would get the $8 television. How bad could it be? It's still a television.
This is why you like look at listings in Albany and you're like, oh, the rent's so cheap. I'm like, yeah, this place is riddled with bullet holes. And like it's probably a scam too.
That was not Albany. That was the Bronx.
Oh, pardon me.
Yes.
Cheap is not always better.
You're right. It's not always better. But look, how was I supposed to know Albany was not the most fun place in the world?
You had to see for yourself, I guess.
Look, the first time I was there was really nice. The only problem was, like, the maps didn't go anywhere.
Yep. That is a problem if you want to just go anywhere.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, you can't walk there. The map says you could go here to get to point B. But when I'm here, it's just, what's the word? A condemned bridge.
Yeah. That's not great.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's not what you want.
No, I would like to go back to Albany one day, but I'm not sure I want to live there. It's really cold.
Please don't live in Albany.
You might live in Albany.
Sorry to anyone listening who lives in Albany.
I mean, Albany was one of the cities, the most publishing companies at one point, as I told you.
I'm never living there.
You never been.
Exactly. I don't need to know. But yeah, they trace the Mad Thinker's location and they find out where she is and they're like, all right, let's go after her. And Dr. Storm, Sue and Johnny's dad, is like, no, you should send the Ultimates. But Sue is like, yeah, but if Rona uses her power to like take over Iron Man or Captain America, like that could be a disaster. Like Thor too. And she's like, also like, she wants Reed, so like putting him out there, like that will get her out in the open. He's
Yeah,
basically being used as bait here.
yeah,
And so, yeah, Reed also explains on their way there that he altered all their suits to be immune to Rona's psi powers. And also, like, they have to walk after, like, landing the Fantastic car near her headquarters because she can control machinery too, so they can't use that.
yeah,
And there's this fun, like, panel of, like, Iceman and the Human Torch then racing each other there, which I really love. Like, the whole fire and ice gimmick of the two of them is just
yeah.
so much fun. And I think their personalities fit really well together.
I believe they do become mainstays of Ultimate Spider. They move in with Ultimate Spider-Man at one point, and
Oh,
also like
yeah.
it's like the theme of them being together, not romantically together, but like they live together with Peter and Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yeah, well, that was Firestar, who was created because legally they couldn't use the Human Torch on that show.
Oh,
So, fun fact.
oops! Firestar is
But
also in Ultimate.
yes, yeah, we'll get to that too.
Yeah,
But
that's a fun comic.
I love that period in Ultimate Spider-Man where Iceman, the Human Torch, and Kitty are all living with Peter and his aunt, and I think
MJ
Gwen
and
and MJ
Gwen.
are there too. Yeah,
But I also love the joke someone makes was like, "Hey, so this kid's living with his girlfriend and his two exes in the same house. What
yeah,
the
that's
hell?"
insane. Like that's risky business, Peter. I can't wait to cover that.
Oh, it's a honestly, I feel as like the Ultimate Universe gets more and more deranged. Ultimate Spider-Man just gets more fun, and honestly,
Yeah,
yeah,
love it. Love
yeah,
Ultimate Spider-Man all the way to the end.
yeah. I can't wait till we get to Miles. But I've heard the problem with Miles is that he's a great character, but he doesn't always have the best storylines.
Yeah, that's what I heard about the original comics, but I
Yeah,
really love the stuff that when he gets brought into 616, he has some really good comics too.
yeah.
But I will talk about that on a different occasion.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Sue and Kitty phase into the Mad Thinker's headquarters, and they use their respective powers to disrupt her technology. And they're like competing with each other, kind of, because like Kitty's phasing through the technology, and Sue is creating force fields inside, and then just expanding them until they destroy it. I'm like, damn, Sue, like, stop being so nasty to Kitty. Like, yeah, she hit on your boyfriend like one time.
She's also much younger than you, Sue.
Yeah, like, you take the high road. She's a kid.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to say is like I believe in of sometimes like those powers are generally pretty matching. Like
Yeah, that's true. They go pretty well together.
yeah,
But it's cool seeing them work together with the invisibility and phasing.
yeah.
And then Iceman sees also when he's getting over there, like there's a little girl who's about to jump from a ledge.
Hmm.
And so he saves her and sees that she's being like mind controlled by the Mad Thinker.
Yeah.
And so then that's a perfect opportunity for the Mad Thinker to break into his mind and take control. So we're a man down. And then the Thing and Reed break into her headquarters and are almost immediately attacked by the Mad Thinker's android, who she calls Robbie, kind of like Robbie the robot from Forbidden Planet, that old classic sci-fi movie.
And the Thing kicks his ass as always.
Yeah, there's a really cool splash page that Pascal Ferry does of like the Thing just like pummeling this android. It's such a cool one.
I like how Sue and Johnny and Reed, they're not weak, but they're pretty low powered as with the rest of the Ultimates. And then you have the Thing who is just like, no, I'm as strong as a Hulk. I could kick most characters that have appeared on this universe's ass. I could just pummel
Yeah.
them.
I mean, he just one-shotted like the zombie Hulk from the Marvel Zombies universe, so that's how strong this Thing is.
Yeah. He is just way overpowered compared to most other things in this universe, so.
Which is really funny, yeah, because if you look at the main universe, it's like Sue and Johnny who are like by far the most powerful members of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But here, yeah, the Thing is super powerful. Not that he's not like super strong in the main universe too.
Yeah, like he's able to fight the Hulk and tie every once in a while, so
Yeah,
that's not nothing.
seriously.
Yeah,
Occasionally he does win.
yeah,
And then Iceman is mind controlled and he takes out the Human Torch. Then Kitty and Sue break into the Mad Thinker's room, and Rona ends up using her mental power to control Sue and Kitty before Reed and Ben like smash through the wall with the android. And Rona's just like, oh, well, I can just use like my powers to shut down your psi shields because I control technology. So that allows her to shut down the psi shields and take control of the thing too. And she's got him like grabbing Mr. Fantastic. But suddenly the Thinker is like overwhelmed with all the inevitability of death and how meaningless things are, and like all of us, and she's like, "What did you do to me?" And Reed explains that he like put a virus in like the buffers of the psi shields. I don't know exactly. It's so much, but it's basically like it accelerates like her gaining of power, which starts with like the gaining of knowledge, then goes to understanding, and now she's at the point where she's reached empathy for other living creatures, and she
And sh-
hates it.
I actually like this ending. It's like we can't beat you, but the power of friendship and the human heart can in the end.
Yeah. Well, Reed even likens it to like her omnipotence to like feeling like God. Now you feel empathy for every living creature on the earth. Now you like know everything about everyone and everything on this planet. And now you can't help but be empathetic and feel what everyone else feels.
Like Yoda
Yeah, you could
or
say
the
that.
Buddha or Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, interchangeable basically.
Yeah. It all involves just sitting down in front of a tree and thinking for like a few hours. That's the
Yeah.
common theme I found amongst religions.
It is a very spiritual kind of resolution to everything, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
I was just gonna say, as a technophobe, I also just like it because it's like, in the end, you can't outsmart her. Sometimes you just gotta hope that something greater, like within the human spirit, can beat her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure. It is a very thoughtful, like contemplative, like meditative conclusion to this. They
Mhm.
don't beat her with fists, they beat her with like the power of empathy and
Yeah.
understanding.
And I know it's hypocritical because a few episodes ago I made fun of another one for they're like, we beat him with the
Right?
power of the
With
human.
ultimate extinction,
Yeah.
yeah.
This one's different. I swear, it's just different.
Yeah, uh-huh. Sure it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
They beat her with the power of love and friendship, and now you're here for it all of a sudden.
It's different because one is like, okay, like, does this mean humans have more heart than those like pinecone people that Galactus ate? In this one, it's like, no, we just couldn't outsmart you, so we just use the heart.
Yeah, the heart of the cards, as they say.
Uh-huh. Is that from Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, you goddamn right it is.
Have you ever played it? I never understood the game.
I used to be obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, but I can't get into that right now. Let me
I,
just tell you though, that show was fire as a kid growing
I
up.
never
I love
understood the
that
show.
show.
I just found out that those monsters aren't real. Those are all in their heads, and they were just playing a regular card game the whole time. And I'm like, really? They were playing Uno this entire time, and those monsters are just there
It's
in their
better
minds.
than Uno. How dare you slander the good name of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Actually, it's worse than Uno because in Yuga, as far as I'm aware, strategy doesn't matter as much as just buying good cards.
It's the heart of the cards, though. It's the heart of the cards.
They're Uno cards.
You gotta believe.
They're just cards.
How dare you? This is why you could never be a Yu-Gi-Oh master.
And at least with Pokemon, they're like actual animals, and Yu-Gi-Oh's just cards.
No, they're monsters in the cards.
No, they're not. They're just playing cards. I thought.
It's the heart of the cards that matters.
What does that
Josh.
mean?
What don't you understand?
I don't understand a thing. How about that?
You don't. You gotta watch more Yu-Gi-Oh, son.
No.
But then, yeah, the Mad Thinker is like, I just wanted to control everyone. I didn't want this. So she runs off and escapes, and then gets like Robbie the robot, the android, to like seal them in and like set a self-destruct for the base. But a hand reaches and keeps the door open so the base is not sealed, and it's Wolverine, and he's like, yeah, good thing I didn't miss the fight. He's back, baby. And he takes out the android off panel, but you see the snick of his claws, and next thing you know, like, the android is down. And they're like, oh no, she's getting away. And he's like, nah, don't worry about it. And you see that Wolverine, like, sabotaged her getaway vehicle, and the Mad Thinker's, like, escape, like, is sabotaged entirely, and her ship just blows up.
That's the problem with working with AIM. You blow up in the end.
And Wolverine is not afraid to kill a kid, which is the lesson. That's the moral of the story, is Logan is not scared
Like,
to kill children.
He is a child predator by all definitions of that word.
Yeah, he'll like have sex with a 19-year-old, and then he'll also blow up a teenager.
He was not afraid to shank her as well, so.
Yeah, he would have done it. He
Yeah.
wasn't bluffing. But then, yeah, one day later at the Baxter building, Reed is giving Logan all their machinery back, and he tries to explain what to do to get it back in order. And Logan's just like, yeah, sure, I'll be sure to do that. I don't understand a fucking word you're saying. And like Lieutenant Lumpkin, who I totally forgot about, who should just be the mailman in the main universe, but in Ultimate, he is like a lieutenant in the army. He's like, these guys broke in and we're gonna let them go. And Dr. Storm is like, let's just let it slide. Like, well, let's call it even. You
Yeah.
know, they helped save the day. And
Johnny makes his move.
he shoots his shot, and then Kitty shoots him down and is like, thanks, but I'm kind of seeing someone.
And I'm like,
And
who?
probably Bobby. They're still in the it's complicated stage.
Okay, spoilers. Then why does she go for Spider-Man in like the next comic we're gonna read? Issues with Bobby.
Because I mean, like at this, maybe she's just trying to let Johnny down gently. That could be it. Maybe she's just like trying not to like hurt him when she rejects him, but she's
Yeah.
just not that into him. Also, she's like, yeah, your sister hates me, so no thanks.
Yeah.
And yeah, the X-Men are getting ready to drive off, and Logan has been put in a Fantastic Four jacket that was given to him by the Baxter building, which is so funny.
And his shirtless underneath because it was that thing. Always Sunny makes fun of where you put on the jacket but you're shirtless underneath.
I mean, this was a thing for Wolverine too during like the Grant Morrison new X-Men era. He was just walking around like everyone else had their like yellow and black like outfits that made them look like a paramilitary squad. And Wolverine's just walking around with like a leather jacket unzipped with no shirt underneath, just like slutting his way around the Marvel universe.
That look is coming back for men and weirdly women now. You just wear a jacket and nothing else.
And like, you know what? It's hilarious on Wolverine too, because he's like the hairiest guy on the face of the planet.
He's a hairy
And
monster.
he's just walking around with his hairy ass chest bare out into the world. It's iconic.
Some people will call him fat now, but he has a healthy body.
Yeah, he's buff. Like, yeah, what do you mean?
Well, some people go like, no, real man. We were talking about this. They want the Marvel body, which he does not have.
Oh my god.
And even Hugh Jackman does not have at this point in time.
Unattainable unless you want to dehydrate yourself, work out a gazillion hours a day, eat nothing but like unseasoned chicken, broccoli, and rice. Yeah.
That's so miserable.
Yeah. I could not live like that.
No, honestly, it sounds like the way they live. It sounds like monks in like the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And those guys are miserable on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, you don't want to put any part of that.
Yeah.
Live a healthy lifestyle.
Live like a regular person in a healthy way.
Exactly.
Eat your vegetables and steaks and your fruit.
Yeah, you know, stay active. And it's okay to have dessert, you know? But yeah, the issue ends with finally like the X-Jet arriving as the X-Men are driving away, and Jean's like, hey guys, everything all right? And Wolverine's like, yeah, we got it. We held down the fort while you were gone. So it's a cute little ending of like, let's just pretend like nothing happened while you guys were away.
Well, to be fair, they did just kind of make things worse. They didn't need to do all this.
Yeah, so they're like, you know what? It's fine. Don't even worry about it. We had a good time, I guess. No harm done. But that about wraps it up, Josh.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on these issues?
I believe I said my piece. And it wasn't bad. I kind of warmed up to it after I was done reading and I took some time to digest it. I wasn't the biggest fan, but like it's a fun read. It's a fun, cute read, you know? It doesn't always need to be a big event and splashy.
Yeah, no, totally. It wasn't like a game changer, and they're not all going to be game changers is the things. It was fun, and it was a good like little quick two-parter.
Yeah.
Definitely more of a Fantastic Four story than an X-Men story, but I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, everyone, we're going to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man Annual #1.
The infamous / famous one.
Yes. So that's going to be a really fun, big discussion for both of us. Really looking forward to that. Until next time, Josh, where can our listeners get in touch with us and email us if they want to get in contact with us about our show, the comics we read, anything comics related? Pretty much anything?
I believe it is ultimatecomicspodcast@gmail.com. Comics plural, podcast singular, ultimatecomicspodcast@gmail.com.
That is right. And you can also get in touch with us on social media. We are here at Ultimate Comics Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can watch full episodes of our podcast with video on YouTube. And we also post reels / TikToks on both Instagram and TikTok, and we have plenty of images from the comics we read on Instagram.
Yeah.
But until next time, everyone, take care and make mine ultimate comics. Bye.